In this video, we're going to show you how to replace a power steering pump on your Chevy Express 2500. This is going to be located in the front of the motor. Let's get started. Using a 10mm socket, remove the 2 bolts for the air cleaner. Using a 7mm socket, loosen the clamp on the back of the air cleaner. On the front, we have a connector. We're going to pinch this tab right here and pull straight back. Remove that connector. There's our tab. Pick straight up and remove the air cleaner assembly. Using a 10mm socket, remove the bolt for the coolant reservoir. Remove the reservoir and pop it off to the side. We're going to remove the 3 plastic clips on top of our shroud using a trim removal tool. We have 2 for the harness in the front. Pop that up. We're going to pull it in front of our shroud. And we have 1 for our coolant hose. Pop that up and out. Recommend flipping this over so it doesn't reconnect itself. Using a 10mm socket, remove the bolts for the shroud. We have 2 on top. Using a 10mm socket, we're going to reach down and get the 3 screws on each side of the shroud. Remove the 3 screws and then go and do the same on the other side. Using a 7mm socket, loosen the clamp. Remove the hose on the side of the intake and remove the boot. Move the hoses back around the shroud. We're going to pick it up on this far side and remove it from the vehicle. Using a 15mm wrench, we're going to take the tension off of our tensioner and we're going to pull the belt off. You don't have to fully remove the belt. I'm just going to remove it off of that 1 pulley. Using a 16mm wrench, we're going to get our power steering fluids to start draining. We're going to loosen this line on the bottom. Loosen and remove the line. Be sure you have a bucket under you. Fluid will come out. Using a pair of pliers, we're going to reach up and we're going to pinch the clamp for our rubber hose. Remove the hose off the pump. Using a 15mm wrench, we're going to remove the nut on the back side. Remove the nut. Using a 15mm wrench, we're going to remove the bolt for the bracket. Remove the bolt. We have 1 more 15mm nut we need to remove. Remove the nut. Using a 15mm socket, we're going to remove 2 bolts for the power steering pump on the front. Remove the 2 side bolts, and we have 1 more on bottom. We're going to install a power steering puller around our pulley. We have a rod that goes in the middle. Remove the pulley using a pair of pliers. Pinch the clamp and move it up the hose. Remove the hose from the power steering pump. I'm going to pull that up and out of my way. Use a 15mm socket and remove the last bolt for our power steering pump. Remove the power steering pump, install the bracket onto the power steering pump, get the 2 nuts started. Install the power steering pump down into place. Get the bolts started. Torque the power steering pump bolts to 37 foot-pounds. Remove the cap off of the power steering pump. We're going to get our reservoir hose installed onto there. Get it fully seated on the fitting, and then we'll pull that clamp down. Pull the clamp down around the fitting. Remove the blue cap and install the line. We're going to get the bolt for the bracket installed. Get it started by hand. Torque the bolt to 30 foot-pounds. If you can't get a torque wrench on it, do the best you can. Using a power steering pulley installer, we're going to install the pulley onto the pump. We're going to get it lined up. Then we're going to get our installer bolt installed. Go until the power steering pulley bottoms out, and then remove your installer. Torque the nuts to 30 foot-pounds. Remove the yellow plug. Install the power steering line. Get the fitting started by hand. Snug the line down. Get it nice and tight. Using some brake parts cleaner and a clean rag, we're going to wipe down the area of any mess we made. Using a 14mm wrench, we're going to take the tension off of our tensioner. I'm going to pull that serpentine belt back up over. Make sure your belt is sitting correctly. When we say make sure it's sitting evenly, right here you can see where the belt used to ride and how it's offset now. In this case, I will take tension off, slide that belt over to where it was riding, and then take the tension back off. If your belt fell off any of the pulleys, go ahead and follow the on-screen diagram and reinstall it. We're going to grab our coolant hose, pull it up out of the way. Get the shroud installed. Install the 3 bolts on the side of the shroud. Get them started by hand. Snug down the bolts. Do the same thing on the other side. Pull the shroud forward and get the bolts installed. Do the same thing on the other side. We're going to install the boot. Make sure you have towards engine going towards the engine. Get the boot installed. Get that hose installed on the side. Make sure it's fully seated. Snug down the bolt for the clamp. Install the plastic stays for the harness and for our upper radiator hose. Install the intake onto the boot. And there's 2 grommets right here that our intake is going to drop onto. You'll feel them click into place. Install the 2 10mm bolts on front. Pull the connector up and out. Push until you hear a click. If you don't hear a click, give it a pull. Make sure it's locked on. Tighten the clamp. Grab the coolant reservoir and pull it over. Get it installed into the 2 locating tabs up top. Slide it back into place. Get the bolt started. Snug the bolt down. Remove the cap for the power steering reservoir. Now we're going to fill our reservoir using the manufacturer specified fluid. Fill until you have the fluid get on the dipstick. Once you have your power steering reservoir filled until the fluid is on the dipstick, we're going to hop in the vehicle and we're going to turn our wheels lock to lock. So we're going to go all the way to the left and then all the way to the right. And you're going to repeat this process about 20 times. When you're doing this, you should hear bubbles coming out of the reservoir. This is all the air being bled out of the system. Periodically check your fluid while you're doing this. Be sure you still have some in the reservoir. It may leak down as it bleeds. Once you have your system fully bled, you're going to check the level. Stick your dipstick all the way in, pull it out, What we're looking for is our fluid to be on that full cold mark. So all the way up to the full cold. Once you're there, you're good to go. Reinstall the cap.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.